So I'm making a favorite household dish, and it is the firecracker salmon rolls. And you can find these on the menu of Cheesecake Factory, but I don't always want to do takeout because it takes time and it gets a little pricey. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm going to do a little home recipe here, and it's very easy to follow. So the first thing I'm going to do is prep the salmon meat that I have here, and I'm going to do that by drizzling a little bit of lemon juice that I have here over the meat. And I always clean my meat using lemon juice. No matter what type of meat it is, I just like to clean it with lemon juice. That's the way I do it, but you can clean it any way that you desire. And then I'm going to be using the ponzu citrus seasoned marinade, and this you can find at any Japanese, Chinese, Asian food market. And I'm just gonna sit here and drizzle this over. And this is just like a marinade. So then I'm just gonna move this around a little bit on the plate here. Okay, so next we're gonna start seasoning the meat. So starting off, I'm gonna sprinkle some black pepper on here. I am going to sprinkle some sea salt. You want to be a little generous with it. And then I am going to also put a little bit of ginger powder. Sprinkle some of that on. And then lastly, I'm going to sprinkle some garlic powder on here. Now you want to slice the meat in a way, sorry, my phone went off. So you want to slice the meat in a way where it will fit into that egg roll wrap. So what I like to do is slice it going right down the long way. So I'm going to take this piece of salmon right here, and then we're going to slice it like that. So here is the meat all sliced up. It does not have to be neat because it's going to go in the wraps, and the wraps roll really tight anyway, so you'll be okay. So right now, while the meat is marinating, I'm going to get into how you roll the wraps, and then right after that, we will do the cabbage sauce so you can see how that's done. Alrighty. So what I have here is the fresh spinach that you're going to use. I have garlic and ginger finely chopped up, and you're going to want to cut up enough for this because you're going to need some of this later for the cabbage also. I have an egg that you're going to use to wrap the egg rolls, and this is just one egg. And then I have the egg roll wraps right here. And then last but not least, I have the salmon. So what you're going to do is take an egg roll wrap, lay it down, get your egg on your brush. You will need a brush, and you just want to take the egg and put it on the outer edges of the egg roll. I'm going to take the spinach. Then you're going to take a little bit of, now we're going to take a little bit of the ginger and garlic. And you only need a very, very little. And then I'm going to take the salmon. I'm trying to find another little small piece. Here's one. And then you're just going to take it all and roll it right up. It's so easy. And voila, there you have it. So again, you're going to take your wrap, put your egg right on the outer edges. the garlic on. Your spinach. Take your salmon. Salmon does not have to be meat because you're rolling it up anyway. And then we're gonna roll that baby up. See how super simple? Take another one. Take your ginger, your garlic, and you can also use chicken, maybe even beef. I will imagine that it would still be, you know, just the same. I know they do have chicken egg rolls because I know a lot of people have seafood allergies, and some people, believe it or not, just don't like seafood. I personally love seafood, and thank goodness I don't have any allergies to it, so I'm perfectly fine with this. But those are other options. I imagine with the beef or chicken, you know, that might be really delicious. Now, you can bake these if you like, you know, just put them in the oven and bake them if you're trying to stay clear away from fried food. But I like to bake them first for a little bit, you know, just to make sure the salmon is cooked thoroughly through. And then I like to put them in a little bit of oil just to give them that nice crunch and crisp. And I really, really do like them that way, and my husband prefers them that way too. So, you know, do as you like. And for health reasons, you just really want to bake them, you can do that too. Or you can, you know, do like I do and add them in the oil only for a little while, just so you will have that nice crunch. Because I noticed the ones at the Cheesecake Factory, they do have a nice little crunch to them. Voila! Now I have 4 here so far, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up the rest of these babies, and then I'll show you when they come out the oven, how I dip them into the fryer, what they look like after that, and then we'll do the cabbage. Alrighty. So here they are, all rolled up. Out of those few pieces of meat, I was able to make 15 rolls, and you can probably get more out of it if you use less salmon than I did in each roll, but still not bad. I'm liking the way I roll. 15. So now we're about to throw these babies in the oven for about 15 minutes. Then we're going to dip them in some oil real quick. So I'm going to put them in the oven, and then I will be back to show you the part when I put them in the oil. So now I'm going to make this super easy cabbage sauce. So the first thing I am going to use is 2/3 cups of water. We're just going to pour that right into the bowl. And then I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of rice vinegar, and you can get this from any Asian market. Just pouring that in, and you want to get 1/2 cup of it. And this is essential. I mean, maybe you could use apple cider vinegar or whatever you have, but yeah, this is what really gives the cabbage sauce that nice kick. So I'm just going to drizzle that all over the cabbage. And then I am going to use about 1/2 teaspoon of the garlic and ginger that I said you might want to make sure you have enough for. And you know what? I'm actually going to use 2. So that will equal into 1 teaspoon. Now the chili sauce, you want to go really easy on this because this stuff is super, super powerful. So you want to be light on the chili sauce. And this is the chili pepper sauce, and everything will be in the description in the description box below. So for the chili sauce, I'm only going to use 1/4 teaspoon. This stuff is super, super spicy. Unless you want it really spicy, then I would suggest putting more, but that's all I'm gonna do. And then I'm also going to use this sweet chili sauce. Now the recipe does say that you can use sugar, but I refuse to go there. So just to sweeten it little, I'm going to use the sweet chili sauce just to give it a little bit of sweet taste, but no, I can't be using that much sugar that the recipe actually calls for. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of this sauce. Now you can just take any type of spoon you have and just mix this all together. And once you mix it all together, you can also let it sit in the refrigerator for a while. But you just want to mix that all together. So you'll notice, as you can see, all of the water and the vinegar kind of settles to the bottom. So you want to make sure that you mix it very thoroughly. But that's nice because it almost turns into a little sauce, and you can eat this cabbage on the side, or you can put it directly on top of the egg roll wraps. And I'm also going to make another little spicy sauce that I love. And that is super easy to make. All you're going to need is 2 ingredients for that. So this is done, so I'm going to let this sit in the refrigerator and let it marinate for a little bit, just so all the spices can settle in here, and the garlic and the ginger. But it smells so good. This is so refreshing, especially in the summer. I mean, so many people just like this cabbage along with this nice light dressing by itself. It's very, very refreshing and healthy too. Okay, so I'm going to sit this in the fridge, and then I will be back to show you how I make my other little special sauce. So for my little special spicy sauce, the only 2 ingredients that you're going to need is the sriracha mayo, and that is right here. And then the sweet chili sauce is what we're going to use. So I'm only going to make a little bit of this because my husband is not a huge fan of this spicy sauce. So I'm going to put, oops. So here's the amount of sauce that I used right there. And I'm just going to pour some of the sweet chili sauce directly in there. Whoops. Let's mix that up. I'm going to pour a little bit more of the sweet chili sauce. And then that's it, voila. And you can set this in the refrigerator to let this chill and let the spices settle in that as well. But super, super simple. That didn't even take me, not even 2 minutes. So that's how you make the little extra spicy sauce if you want to be extra. So the next thing I will show you is the results when the rolls come out of the oven and how I pop them in some oil. All right. So here's what they look like freshly out of the oven. and I baked them for about 15 minutes on 400 degrees. Now I have my oil already preheated here, and it's on medium heat. So I'm just going to scoop these out of the pan and start frying them. And I'm using a spatula to get them out of the pan here. And they cook really fast once you've taken them out of the oven. I'm taking my time not to jerk them out. And I'm going to use a spatula and a fork to turn them. And you can use whatever technique method you like to. And they're already looking nice and golden brown. And remember that when they're in the oven, that's the time that the salmon is baking. So you don't have to fry them for a very long time. It's just really to give it that crunch. And if the salmon did not fully bake in the oven, this would definitely do it. Start taking the ones that are really brown out. And here is what they look like, beautiful golden brown. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish baking the other ones that need to go into the oven and putting the rest into the fryer, and then I will show you the ending results. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, the same brush that I used to put the egg on the egg rolls, you definitely want to use a little bit of oil on the rolls before you actually put them into the oven on both sides. I forgot to mention that. Alrighty, be back soon with the final. So here are the final results. Hubby and I already snagged one. They're crispy, they're delicious. Another thing that you can do is marinate your meat ahead of time, maybe 3-4 hours ahead of time. That will make these delicious rolls even tastier. But nevertheless, they are delicious. I love them. You can save your money. But yeah, everything will be listed below. In the description bar are the ingredients and the instructions on how to make these delicious Cheesecake Factory firecracker salmon rolls. I hope you enjoyed.